Hello, I'm Bob Skagit, president of the Boeing Aircraft Company. As you may be aware, 32,500 of our machinists are on strike right now, and that is unfortunate. But I want to assure you, the public, that we, the management team here at Boeing, are ready, willing, and we believe capable of continuing to build the prettiest darn planes in the sky. Now, do we actually have the experience to fill those 32,500 pairs of shoes? No, we don't. But we've personally logged a lot of business travel on those planes, flying all around the world. When you've sat on those planes as much as we have, you really get to know them very well. I myself, last year, personally okayed a deal with U.S. Air to buy one of our larger planes. The exact model number of that plane escapes me right now, but it was really big, I'll tell you that.
Bob?
Yes?
The 747, propeller or jet?
Jet.
Henry, scratch those big propellers. Turns out it's a jet.
Now, I'd be lying to you if I said we had the same experience as those workers that we're temporarily replacing. But, tell you the truth, some of the people in the marketing department probably wouldn't know a ball-peen wrench if it jumped up and bit them in the butt. But I'll tell you this. We, the management team here at Boeing, will continue to build the finest, most reliable planes in the world. All the way from the tip of the nose to those things in the back to turn the plane. We're Boeing, and we're working for you. Did we get it? Okay. Hey, Max, I was thinking, I think the 747 does have propellers.
Henry!
Henry!
Boy, that was an interesting game today, wasn't it? Wasn't that interesting? I think there's obviously... What? No, interesting, I think is the nice way to say it. It's obviously... What's going on here? It's strategy. There's a lot of strategy in baseball, and apparently the Mariners want to make sure that they play a few more games back in the dome. That's what's going on. They have a few to give up there, that's okay, and they just basically want to get back in the midst of that frenzied, insane dome crowd, which you've seen a lot of strange things when they turn the camera on the Seattle crowd. Looks very strange. And the other night, we at Almost Live, we want to share this with you. When they did one of those shots, we saw one of our cast members in a crowd shot. And it's absolutely true. We're a little concerned. Could we please roll the tape? That's not him, but I mean, okay, there he is. There's Steve Wilson. Look at it. Steve Wilson, what's he doing? He's on the phone. The guy is on, the biggest, most exciting game, in Seattle in decades. The guy is on the phone. We look like such dorks. Steve, you look like a dork there. There's a couple things that are pretty obvious. He's obviously one of those brand new Mariner fans, that have just grown in the last month. And he's also got a serious problem with those 1-900 lines. I think that's pretty clear. But Steve, come on, do that at home, okay? Do that stuff at home. That's not a real fan, I'll tell you. There has been a lot of grumbling from the old-time fans about people who are just jumping onto the Mariner bandwagon. The old fans, they want some credit for hanging in there all those lean years, and we agree. And, there are ways to tell the old fans from the new ones. As a general rule, the new fans are the only ones who pay attention to Bill the Beer Man. That's just number one rule. But beyond that, there are certain obvious differences in several categories. For example, when ordering food?
I'll take a hot dog and a beer.
I'd like some sushi and a Volvic.
Or when discussing game strategy.
I don't understand why Lou didn't put in a pinch hitter for Soho. He's never been able to get a hit off that guy.
Why do the teams keep running on and off the field?
There's differences there. Or, for example, when deciding where to go after the game.
Let's go to McCrory's for a beer.
Woohoo! Let's go to Il Terrazzo for mushroom risotto.
And when discussing the Mariner Moose.
I don't understand why the Mariner mascot is a moose.
I don't understand why the Mariner mascot is a moose.
Yeah, I think that basically clears it all up. Of course, the thing is you can't blame all these Johnny-come-lately fans because the city is all pumped up and enthusiastic, and of course, that includes the most enthusiastic people we know. Ladies and gentlemen, they're back, they're white, they're obnoxious. Here they are. Take a look.
Man, there's nothing to do in this town.
Yeah, nothing. Hey, guys.
Mariner tickets!
The High-Fiven white guys catch Mariner fever! White guys always dress for success!
Cool Mariner stuff! Yeah!
High-Fiven white guys are cool!
Hey, it's the High-Fiven white guys!
They chew tobacco!
Remember, kids, the High-Fiven white guys do not endorse or condone chewing tobacco or any tobacco products.
High-Fiven white guys are a force to be reckoned with!
It's the High-Fiven white guys. They better call for backup.
High-Fiven white guys go all the way for their team!
Sweet!
Bye-bye, High-Fiven white guys. Oh, they're just so cute.
High-Fiven white guys keep their eye on the ball! First in line!
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. The game's in Cleveland tonight.
Hey, it's the High-Fiven white guys!
Shawna McLaughlin!
Can I be a High-Fiven white guy too?
Sure!
How about my boyfriend?
No way!
Okay.
Yeah!
High-Fiven white guys! All right, stay with us. We'll be right back, and we have a great show. Be right back.
Looking for a bright new mealtime idea?
Sure, I guess.
Then try this.
What is it?
It's called Miracle Meat.
This is meat?
No, it's Miracle Meat.
Oh. What is miracle meat?
It's a special enriched meat substitute that tastes surprisingly similar to meat.
But it doesn't really look like meat.
Okay, but taste it.
What?
Taste miracle meat. Come on, try it. Does that taste remind you of anything?
Yeah, it kind of tastes like meat.
But it's not. It's miracle meat. Tastes so much like real meat, you'll think it is real meat.
Well, if it's not meat, what is it?
Miracle meat has lots of natural things in it, organic things that are then enriched with secret ingredients and certain special hidden flavoring.
You know, this stuff doesn't really smell like meat either.
Of course not. It's not meat. It's miracle meat.
Right.
Would you like to know more about miracle meat?
No.
Look for miracle meat in the pudding section of your favorite store from the makers of Wonder Cheese.
Dust you are, and to dust you shall return. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. At this time, I would like to invite you all to share any remembrances that you have of the deceased.
Well, I think we all remember Kyle as a music lover. I can recall that he was particularly fond of the music of his youth, Led Zeppelin and The Who. But he always appreciated newer music too, Megadeth and Metallica.
Yeah. I can vouch for that. He lived a couple houses down from me, and I was always having to go over and knock on his door at 4 a.m. and tell him to turn it down. Had to call the cops on a few occasions. Can't say I'll miss that.
I remember Kyle as a man who had a lust for life. One time a bunch of us drove down to the ocean for the weekend. Kyle was a party guy. He stayed drunk pretty much the entire time.
Yeah, and then he threw up all over my car.
And all over me too.
I worked for Kyle for about 5 years, and I remember we had a nickname for Kyle. We called him Big Fat Loudmouth Bully.
When I worked with him, it was Big Boring Blowhard.
Within the family, we called him the Mistake.
The big mistake.
In the dictionary, you'll find his picture next to the word jerk.
And idiot.
Don't forget sleaze.
He was worse than the front line in Vietnam.
Worse than having that bird peck out my eye.
I hated him. Me too.
I hated him more.
Oh, nobody hated him more than I did.
I hated him. Excuse me, but I hated him more than anybody, and the only reason I'm here today is to make sure that he's really dead.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you can be assured that Kyle is dead because I double-checked. Good.
Yes. All right.
And now, let us go from this place in peace and celebrate the gift of life. And drinks are on me.
Yes. All right. This is the Late Report. Well, Seattle is unveiling an educational plan aimed at teaching students the consequences of carrying guns. The plan suggests that not only are guns dangerous, but that carrying one in your pocket can create unsightly gun lines. Now, beginning next year, Boeing plans to offer airlines a new antenna that will deliver TV programs to jets for about $100,000, about the same amount as 3 pay-per-view events on TCI or Viacom. The Skagit River has seen the most pink salmon, known as humpies, since 1963. It's not really that big a deal, but I do enjoy saying the word humpies on television. Well, a Washington State University grad gave the school $1.3 million in new computer equipment. The school immediately thanked him for his donation, sold the equipment, and had a massive kegger. Bill Cartwright says the Sonics tricked him into retiring early and losing money on his contract. According to Cartwright, Sonics management told him to, quote, look behind him, and then they canceled his contract real fast. The Mayflower Park Hotel was awarded Best Martini in Town for the Mariners Martini, a mandarin orange flavored concoction. The hotel narrowly edged out FX McRory's version of the Mariner Martini, 2 shots of vodka with a dash of spit. Well, an auction over the past 2 days was held to sell everything still left in the old Frederick and Nelson building. Among the items found, chandeliers, mannequins, a conveyor belt, and Frederick. Now here with this week's comment is Bill Stainton. Bill?
Thanks, John. You know, when I was a boy back in 1962, this city built a temple to the future, a shrine that symbolizes what Seattle stands for to the rest of the world, which we called the Space Needle. It was a holy place where we took visitors to see the most spectacular view of Puget Sound and eat some really expensive food. But in the last few years, its dignity has been tarnished by crass commercialism. I mean, look up there this week. What do you see? A big baseball to promote the Mariners. Before that, it was a big gorilla, a big crab, a big basketball, even a big Wheel of Fortune dial. Great, so now our beloved Space Needle is being dressed up like some cheap prostitute and sold to the highest bidder. You know what we should do? We should just move it a few blocks over to Aurora Avenue, because let's face it, the Space Needle is now the whore of Seattle. I mean, what are they going to put up there next? A humongous mattress from Sonny Kobe Cook? Why not just paint the thing to look like a big whopper? Huh? How about your way, Needle? How about a big Joe Camel hanging over the side, blowing smoke at the kids in the fun forest? Or we can make it look like the world's biggest firecracker and rent it out to the Indian reservations every 4th of July, okay? Now, how about this? Yeah, I have some weed I want to sell. Can I put a big joint on the Space Needle? Well, sure you can! Put a big baggie right there next to it if you want. We don't care, because our most treasured civic landmark is nothing but a big revolving hooker, a 100-foot tall revolving hooker.
Bill, all right, you know what? You're starting to spit again, okay? I'm sorry. I think we got the point. I think you did real good, but
thank you.
You're spitting.
Sorry.
Finally, an astonishing 78% of Western Washington residents tuned in to last Sunday's televised Mariners game. The other 22% were breaking into those people's cars. This has been The Late Report. We're coming right back, so stay where you are. And now, the Lame List, or What's Weak This Week. Brought to you by America's heavy metal community. Lame! Alice in Chains guitars are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, while yours sits in the window of a downtown pawn shop.
Lame! Man, that's so lame. The lamest of the lame.
That new David Spade segment on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, terribly lame. Completely, gruesomely lame. Oh.
War.
Lame!
When you say you love something and your friend says, then why don't you marry it?
Vilely lame.
Dog lame.
Uncompromisingly lame.
Swimming in a stinking sea of lame-alities.
That Denorex guy with the tingling hair in his back.
Lame!
People who don't wave a little thank you when you let them in traffic.
Lame! Totally lame. Excusable. Lame.
This has been The Lame List. Boy, that's some awesome hair, isn't it? That is some totally awesome hair. Makes me feel just totally inadequate, you know, but that's okay. You guys were having a good time. At least you were until I started going into that sort of hair routine. But anyway, if you'd like to join these people, and we all have the flu here, we've got almost live tickets right here, 421-5555. We'd love to have you down here. It's just isn't it a blast coming down here? They turned on the sign. And needless to say, we're going to see you next week, but before it's an obligation in the city. Should we just say refuse to lose one more time? Refuse to lose. Refuse to lose. Refuse to lose. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.